Welcome back. We are just finishing off part B of question 5 in homework 10.5. Do I have the right layer on here? Here we go. Okay. No, I don't want to see that. Okay, so this is part B right here. Now in part A, we established that first of all, we established that this is incorrect. The real answer for part A should be 5 over 3 m. Okay, part A was asking what's the mass of the second ball, and it's about 1 2/3 the size of the original one. Okay, well part B is asking us what's the speed of the second ball after the collision. Okay, so we want to find the final velocity. The final velocity of object 2 after the collision. Well, we have an equation for that. And it goes something kind of like this. The final velocity of 2 equals 2 times the mass of 1 divided by the mass of 1 plus the mass of 2. All that times the initial velocity of object 1. Okay, that's our solution for finding the final velocity of 2. And those of you who were able to bear through the last video on finding this mass of the second ball right here, you were probably thinking this is going to take forever to find part B. Actually, it's not. Why? Because we did the hard part. We found now this mass of object 2. So now it is really just a matter of plugging in. You know what? Before I do, let's just go back and let's write down our knowns. You know, I'm just going to write them over here. Our initial velocity of 1 is simply, we call it VO. The final velocity of, we don't, final velocity of 1, heck, yeah, it was a negative 0.25 VO, if you recall. The mass of object 2, we said was 5/3 times m, or 5/3 times the mass of object 1, which, by the way, I'll just say object 1's mass is simply called m. Okay, so that's why object 2 is bigger. Now we can really just plug these in over here. So the final velocity of object 2, which is what we're solving for in B, is going to be 2 times m. Remember, m is our mass of object 1. Divided by mass of object 1, m, plus m2, so it's m plus 5/3 m, right? So we're plugging in m2 right there, times the initial velocity, the initial velocity of object 1 times v. Oh. Okay, and if you look at your answer up here, you'll see that your answer is in terms of VO. So that's not going to go away. So right down here at the bottom, we have this ugly m plus 5/3 m. Well, let's simplify this all in one great big step. Let's factor out our m's on the top and the bottom. So it's going to be m times simply 2 up here, divided by m times 1 plus 5/3. All that times VO. And if you really want to be, well, first of all, before I do that, look, our m's cancel out, right? Goes away. And by the way, this part is getting down to simple, really, arithmetic. You can do this however which way you want, but that's just going to be my way. So I'm going to come up to the top here, just like that, and continue this. So that means it's going to be 2 over 1 plus 5/3. Well, you can say that that would be 8/3, because 1 is 3/3. So it's like saying 1 is 3/3, add 5/3 to it. Okay, so that would be 8/3 times VO. So I know I'm doing this a long way, and you're like, come on, just get to the answer. 2 over 8/3 VO. And if we want to get rid of that fraction in the denominator, we really multiply by its reciprocal. Or it's like, you can take that 3 and bring it all the way up into the top right here and leave the 8 where it is. So it's like saying 2 times 3 over 8 times the initial velocity, or VO. Well, you can see that's going to simplify to 6/8 VO, which is really 3/4 VO. So this is saying that the final velocity of object 2 is 3/4 of the initial velocity of that first ball. Which makes sense because that first ball has less mass, and so it would transfer less velocity to the more massive object 2. So that's it. It actually did take a little bit longer than you might have thought, but it was really just plugging and chugging. And you probably had your own little special shortcuts to go from here down to here. But that's the way I did it. I like doing it completely, even if it is a little bit long, just so you can see exactly where I did each step. So that's our answer. We have part B of question number 5. There you have it. See you next time.